it's weird because like everything in their life, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Like, they make people hate them. They make people get to the point where they kick them out of their lives and be like, you're the most toxic person I've ever met. And then they're like, yep, I know. That's what everybody tells me. And then they move on to the next person and they say, oh yeah, well, I used to date Taurus and, I did everything and I showed up and I tried so hard and it wasn't enough and I wasn't enough. And, they need people to view them the way they view themselves. Hi everyone and welcome to Divine Resolution Tarot. This reading is intended for the sign of Taurus. Open up the deck and pulled your cards. Bottom of the deck, the Hierophant in the reverse, showing me that you have left the building, right? There's an energy here in the back of your deck. Lots of fighting, whoever you're with. It seems like they're really secretive or they've been hiding things. You could be dealing with a fire sign or a water sign. It looks as though you tried to make it work with this person in the past, and what I'm seeing is that they didn't bring as much to the table as what you had, which is interesting because you're being represented by the Empress. They're being represented as the King of Wands. So I feel like this has been off and on with this person because what I'm seeing is that they were sneaky. There was something that they were hiding. What I'm seeing with this person is that they'll start fights with you to leave, and then they make it seem like it's your fault. So you actually felt really bad about the situations. Like this is a recurring thing where this person will kind of pick an argument or escalate something if you speak to them about a issue you're having, and then they storm out and they act like they're really hurt. Maybe they don't come home or they don't talk to you for a few days if you don't live together. And so in that time frame, you're just kind of, sitting in the argument, in the aftermath of the argument and thinking what could I have done better? What should I have said different? And then this person would come back and maybe they would apologize. But it's kind of this half-assed apology. Also, it seems like they would blame whatever this temper tantrum that they have is on trauma or situations that happen in their life. They had a reason for the way that they acted because it's so blown out of proportion based on what I'm seeing here. You could literally be like, oh, hey, if I'm at work all day, could you take out the trash? And this person will just blow up and be like, oh, because you don't think I do anything and because I don't contribute the way you do and all you do is come home and complain and I was trying to have a good day and now you're here, and then they storm out. But first of all, none of that was even necessary. You just be a regular person, be like, yeah, babe, no problem. I'll take out the garbage. I forgot. But second of all, whatever they were doing when they'd pick these fights, you're thinking that they're just emotionally dysregulated or that they're dealing with grief or trauma. So they're oversensitive. But it looks like they've been doing something behind your back. And I feel as though you may not have gotten 100% clarity about what that is. But it seems almost like you're starting to see the full picture here. You're getting clues about what's happening. You're starting to notice that there's more to this than what meets the eye. Maybe you don't know exactly what this person is going off to do. But maybe you saw a text message where they blatantly said oh yeah, I pick a fight so I can leave. And you're like, oh wow, so this is just you gaslighting me. This is a game, right? For some of you, these fights are around money. And what it looks like is that this person is hiding money. They're telling you that they're broke when they're not. And they're expecting you to pay for things. So that kind of goes back to how I saw you started dealing with this person. You had way more than they did. And it's almost like this person is saving money so they can have a fresh start. I'm not seeing cheating here if you're in a relationship with this person. And I'm not really seeing them being with other people in this particular spread. But what I'm seeing is they've started either a nest egg or gotten maybe this person, you like picks fights so often that they have like a whole part-time job you don't even know about, right? Like it's something like that where they're starting to build a life separate from the life they share with you, but they're not being transparent about the fact that they've already checked out of the relationship. And so you're being like emotionally manipulated and financially exploited. And I'm seeing that you're trying to like keep the relationship going. Maybe you're somebody who's like, oh, you know, if I keep triggering my partner, maybe I should read this book about how to deal with people who have like CPTSD, or deal with people who are suffering from a traumatic incident, right? Like you are worrying about the both of you, and they are worrying about themselves. And I think last time I did a monthly reading for you, Taurus, I saw something along those lines where the person was kind of shady and they were doing some weird stuff. So it seems like this is a continuation of that energy. And I'm feeling like now you're starting to understand that this person is like not building with you anymore, right? It's like they've gone off and they're building something in secret. Maybe for some of you, this person like opened a bank account and you happen to like intercept the paperwork for that in the mail. You know, maybe you see like, oh, well, why, since when did you start banking at Wells Fargo, right? I thought you were broke. Like that kind of thing. It's almost like you're starting to see that this person is making an exit plan. And if you haven't gotten evidence of this, it could even just be, what I'm seeing here is like, maybe you're asking them questions about like renewing a lease. Hey, are we going to be renewing a lease next month? And they're like, oh, I don't know, right? Like maybe they're dragging out, like giving you a definitive answer, right? Or maybe you're asking them like, do you want to go to my friend's wedding with me this summer? And they're kind of like, oh, yeah, I don't know. And it's like, well, why don't you know? Like, you're the person I'm with. Naturally, you're who I would bring, right? It could even be that simple where this person is like not willing to make future plans with you. And so you're starting to view this person different. You're starting to view the relationship that you're in different. I see you taking a step back and really assessing who this person is. For some of you, maybe you're trying to like find out more about the people they were with before, like exes or something. There's something about that here. Not that you think they're dealing with an ex, and not that I see that they are, but it's kind of the energy of you wanting to understand if this person has a pattern of like dipping out on people really quickly or ghosting people really quickly, right? Because I feel like when they came into your life, they had a pretty good story about all the reasons why they were broke. Oh my God, I've given all my money to everybody. I help everybody. I try to always end up with partners that look good, but suddenly I'm their savior and I have to help them. And I'm always so depleted. And, you know, this person is like the victim in all the stories. So I think you're starting to kind of wonder like, okay, if this person is always like getting screwed over by everybody, but now I'm seeing signs of them like not being a very upfront person. Like maybe those stories were not real. Maybe there's more to this person than meets the eye, right? I'm seeing that you actually have decided that you're not going to make future plans with this person at this time, but that's also something that you're not communicating to them either. For some of you, I'm not seeing you like being with someone else, but I do see the possibility of you like either looking for a better job, like, okay, this person isn't going to be around to split the rent, or if you did get a better job, you're not communicating it to this person. There's starting to be like an element of you not being transparent with this person about what your plans are or what's going on in your life either. So as I'm looking at where you're at now, you're in 3 of Cups. And I think that's interesting because what's coming towards you, Star, and Strength is how it will affect you. But that's coming out reversed. You have a lot of major arcanas here. So this definitely feels like it's some kind of very important connection. Whether that's like a soulmate, a karmic, a twin flame. This is somebody who is definitely in your life to teach you something, right? I feel like this person is going to lay it on pretty thick this month. It looks like you are kind of tentative about letting them back into like your heart. Even if you live together and you haven't moved out or you haven't like talked about a breakup, I see that you've been trying to like build a wall between you and this person. Maybe you've been getting like support from friends, or you've been like running by the things that you're seeing, you know, to your friends and saying like, does this make sense to you? Do you think this person is cheating? You could even be meeting up with like old friends, maybe like as this relationship is doing this weird thing that it's doing, you're not making this person as much of a priority. And the reason why this is important is because this person is starting to feel you pull away, right? They're starting to think like, maybe I'm losing Taurus. Maybe Taurus is wanting to move in with their ex for some reason. This person has like a kind of a hang up about you and your ex. So I don't know if you're like okay with your exes, or if there's an ex that you have that's like still super in love with you. But the person that's coming through in this reading, they want to fix things with you because they're starting to feel a few things. I see them worrying about their money. You're coming through as King of Pentacles. They're coming through as Magician reversed. So there's an energy of them not wanting to be without the resources that you provide. And maybe you did start making this person be more accountable for things, you know, like your bad spending habits are not my responsibility. If you have a job, you can absolutely pay this gas bill this month, right? There's an energy of you like stepping back. And so this person is trying to move forward to close out the distance with you. But what I'm seeing is it's coming from a place of manipulation, and they're actually fearful of what their life will look like when you're no longer in it, because there's an energy of you making this person's life a lot easier than their life is when they're alone. Okay, so what I'm seeing for you with Strength in the reverse, it looks like there's a few things happening here. I see you being angry with this person, so you might actually just kind of let them have it, because I'm seeing some cards here where you're like starting to feel animosity towards this person as you watch the way that they move. I'm also seeing that you may very well tell this person flat out, like, I don't know what's been going on with you, but we need to have a discussion, right? This is how I feel. This is what I've noticed. I'm starting to look at you different. I don't understand the behavior, but this is where it's leading me to believe that, you know, you're going to leave or that you're doing something else, right? You may end up having that discussion with this person. I feel like the hard part with you is that you really do have deep feelings for them. So when they're trying to smooth things over with you, even if you've told yourself like, I'm leaving or I'm going to put aside my own money, eventually it looks like the anger that you're feeling wears off. And I'm seeing an energy of you like letting your walls down to this person again, viewing them as an option again. Whereas like in this previous energy that I was looking at, you were getting kind of fed up, right? Whereas now it's like, well, maybe I can make this work, or they're acting like they used to when things were good. And, you know, maybe it is me. And so like, I'll just be like honest about this. My words are kind of coming out funny right now. Like I feel myself tripping over my words, and it's making me think that this person is kind of a master manipulator that has a tendency to turn things around on you and gaslight you into not being able to speak your truth or like believe the reality of what you're seeing. So maybe if you could just be like cognizant of that this person has an energy of, I'm feeling like very, like, we have to do this now. This has to happen now. I have to fix this now. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not coming from a place of like, I need to fix this now because this is so important to me. It's like my survival hinges on this relationship working. So maybe something that they were doing, like when they pick these fights to go do something else, it seems like that thing isn't working out for them. You know, and then you saw it for what it was and you started taking a step back, and now they're feeling very triggered to try to like lock it back in with you because you support this person. You know, it looks like you possibly support this person financially, if I'm being very honest. And it's weird because I see this person working, so I'm not sure if they're just in between jobs, or if they have some sort of addiction. Because I do see the possibility of you asking this person to go to like rehab. So maybe they just have issues with their money management is what this looks like. Because this person, they have money, like they get money. So I'm not understanding like why the expectation is that you're supposed to take care of everything, or why they think they couldn't like get an apartment of their own or like move away from you or whatever their deal is. Like, it seems very unfair if they're not in this connection 100% to like just keep you hanging and allowing you to like emotionally support them and financially compensate whatever they're lacking, right? Like, I'm not understanding why this person can't seem to like go off on their own. It does look like they're very codependent. So, I mean, I'm not sure what this person's backstory is, but the hard part, like your obstacle is actually King of Cups reversed. This person could have a tendency of like manipulating multiple people. You know what I mean? Like, this would be more of a pattern for this person. Something you could try to do is just ask them if they've ever like lived alone, or try to ascertain like what level of independence this person has ever reached without like being in a relationship or having a roommate, or because this person is giving like very like incubus, succubus energy of like, I'll be whatever you want me to be as long as I get all of my needs fulfilled in the easiest way possible. And if you start asking for more, I'm going to become like almost cruel to the point that you feel like I don't love you. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to love bomb you. And maybe kind of also make it seem like the way that I was acting was partly your fault too. This person has some real issues around abandonment, which is strange because what I'm seeing is that they have a tendency to live like a child. And so it's like, I don't know if they're looking for like a surrogate parent here, or if they're trying to like recreate a narrative from their childhood that they felt like didn't go the way they wanted it to, where they suddenly have like a daddy or a mommy or something, because this person keeps themselves like financially codependent on whoever they're with. It seems like they do that through their own poor choices. This person is really weird because they present as an adult. When you talk to them, you would think that they have it together. And then it's like the curtain falls and you see that was kind of a facade. And so that's why I feel like with you, it's really hard, because what I'm seeing is that this person presented as an adult. They had a story. You felt bad. You aligned yourself with them. And as time went by, they started showing these like more vulnerable traits, I guess, which endeared you to this person even more, because it looks like your thoughts were like, oh my God, they're letting me in. They're so wounded. I can help them. But that vulnerable part of them is real, but it's also like, for some reason it's inappropriate. Like say you have like a woman who's like showing appropriate vulnerability for her age, would be like, hey, you know, I have a hard time asking people for help because in the past people have used that against me, but I'm working on it. Could you help me carry these groceries in? Right? Whereas like inappropriate vulnerability would be like putting themselves in poor financial decisions and then coming to their partner and being like, my gas is about to get cut off and I have no one else to ask but you, and nobody ever helps me with anything. And then kind of like hooking you with guilt and obligation, but also like doing it under the guise of like, I trust you so much, I can tell you about my deepest problems. And then you feel kind of honored that they came to you for help. But in reality, this person is like, they sabotage their own stuff so that they can be rescued, so that people can like go above and beyond for this person. And then they think, oh my God, I'm cared for. But it's not care that adults give each other. This is like care that a child needs to not feel neglected, is I guess how I'll say that. So maybe if you have like a little more information about this person and kind of where they're coming from, you may be able to pick apart, when I see this Page of Cups and Magician reverse, like maybe you can start trying to dissect what parts of this person's personality are real and what parts are a trauma response and what parts are, because this is just a lot, and like it plays on your emotions. Like this person inspires abandonment issues inside of you, and they have this energy of like, I want you now I don't want you, now you don't matter, now I'm gonna go like other people's pictures that look nothing like you, now I want you back. You know what I mean? Like it's doing something to your self-esteem to stay with this person. But it seems like you've been with this person for long enough that now you're on that cycle of like validation from a narcissist, and the high that it gives you of like, yay, today I'm good enough. And then you come crashing down the next day when you're not good enough. And so I'm seeing a bit of an addiction here for you, that like this person spikes your like endorphins or whatever, you know what I mean? Because they play this game where they'll like give you all these really great compliments or all this attention, and they snatch it away, and then you're going through withdrawals, right? And so this is a very difficult situation, because how do you break away from something like that when it's like you're already kind of addicted to it? And then I see them showing you parts of their personality that you miss, that you've been longing for. So let's take a look at what your opportunity is in this situation, I suppose. You've got Hanged Man and Seven of Pentacles. So, I mean, you have an opportunity, like I said before, to ask this person to like go to rehab or to go to some kind of therapy if you feel like that would help. That is something you could look into doing. However, I feel like you would be the one footing the bill for that situation, because this person, they're like a fake adult. So they probably don't have like a way to cover the cost of that, or they probably like have avoided filling out insurance paperwork unless you do it for them. Or maybe you did it for them and they never mailed it in. It's like that kind of thing. So you could ask them like, hey, if this is going to work and I'm going to be all in, I need you to start like really focusing on your mental health. For some of you, you might ask this person, if they don't go to rehab, to just like abstain from like alcohol or drugs. And then you tell them like, okay, I'm going to help you create a plan where, like, say you would normally spend like $200 on alcohol a week, which I mean isn't crazy if you drink at a bar, right? Let's make a plan where instead of doing that, we do things together, and then you can put that money in savings and then you can watch it grow. The hard part is I see you hoping that whatever you propose will show this person like how much you love them and how you're willing to work it out, even though they've been showing you like this bad behavior. Because what I'm seeing is what they're going to say about the move. Like if you say like you've been getting distant, you've opened a new bank account, you got that second job, they're going to be like, I just wanted you to be happy. I thought you were tired of me. I thought you were seeing someone else. You started acting so strange. I felt like I needed to protect myself because last time that happened, I got ghosted. Like, whatever this person tells you, everything they're doing, it's going to be your fault. And then you're going to feel this like knee-jerk reaction to try to give them assurance that you're invested, to show them how much you love them, to show them that they don't need to feel triggered and leave, or that they can talk to you. And I see this person, the hard part is like, that will only get you so far, because when you do that, this person's going to think they kind of have you where they want you. Like, a lot of this is manipulation. So I want you to be careful. Like, you have free will and you can do what you want. But ultimately, like, this person wants to get you in this space of like pouring a bunch into them so that when they relapse, it's not an if, it's a when. Because this is somebody, Seven of Swords, they will sneak and do whatever this is. They don't care, right? Or they'll keep building the secret life. But it's almost like you pour so much into them, you make them a priority, And then they know that when they don't change, that's going to make you feel like completely destroyed, that you put all this effort into this person. But you're also like filling up all their energy, right? You're giving them all this energy that's going to make them, it almost like propels them into their next situation, because this is somebody that cannot be alone. You know, I don't know what their history is. It feels like this is someone that's always been with someone. And so like if they're going to leave a good situation, it's almost like they need to pack a picnic lunch for the voyage. They need to suck as much energy as they can. It's very possible too that this person is intentionally trying to get you to be the one to leave them. And so when they see that you're willing to work on this, they end up like doing the program or doing the thing only to like totally crash and make a total fool out of both of you. And then you'll be so upset that you will leave. And maybe even want to just leave everything when you leave is kind of their hope. But they're trying to stretch this out because in all honesty, Taurus, you caught this person, whatever they were doing, you caught them. So they're doing this to just buy time. You get what I'm saying? Like the end result is still them doing exactly what they plan to do, but the timeline has shifted. So they're trying to buy more time, if that makes sense. Okay. And they're trying to get as much from you as they possibly can. You know, this could be somebody that says they're going to rehab. You give them a check for the rehab and they keep it and use that as money to leave when you start suspecting that they're not really doing what they said they were going to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think this person is an addict with what I'm seeing, and I'm not downing people who are addicted to anything, because like a majority of that comes from, you know, childhood trauma or like really horrible circumstances that they haven't healed from. I'm also not giving them a pass. But I'm just saying, like, I think this person is an addict, and I think that they're in their own world. And I think that at this time, they don't really care who they hurt as long as they like have what they want. You get what I'm saying? Because like once you pour all this energy into this person and then they still disappoint you and then you leave, guess what happens? They're the victim. Everybody I love leaves. Everybody I love gives up on me. Nobody cares about me. I'm just in this world all alone. Boo-hoo. 6 of Cups reversed, right? Nobody loves me. And now I have all the reason in the world to go back to my addiction because that's all I have. You know, it's almost like this person creates all these circumstances to prove to themselves why they're okay being addicted to whatever it is, or why they're within their right to like be this defeated person, because everybody leaves. Okay, but if you chase everybody out of your life, or you exploit everybody or manipulate everybody to the point that you're so toxic, right, that people cannot hold on to anymore because it's now at the detriment of their own well-being or mental health or financial, you know, sustainability. Like this person destroys good people is how I'll say it, you know, and I'm sorry that you're going through that, because what I'm seeing is like when you met this person, Wheel of Fortune, you thought this was the one, you know, when in reality, this is somebody who they take people and they turn them into something else. Like by the time people are done dealing with this person, Hierophant reverse, this is you kind of like breaking up with yourself, right? This person, I feel like, causes people psychological damage. You know what I mean? To the point that they are trying to put their like life and their self-esteem back together. By the time they get away from this person, they're trying to understand like what exactly happened here. Like, how did this go so wrong? Who am I now? Like, how can I keep myself from putting myself in a situation like this again? Like, this is almost like somebody who just completely destroys people because they are unhappy. You know, they're unhealthy. They want people to be as destroyed as they are. So I'm sorry that you've manifested someone like that. Your advice or something that you want to consider this month, 5 of Swords in reverse. So you could do this, right? You have free will. But just maybe be mindful of the fact that this is like a plan to buy more time. So this person may end up leaving you in a lurch, right? Like if you invest a lot into this person's like sobriety or their whatever, right? would you be so worse off from doing that if this person were to leave, you're now like impoverished, or you're having to make like difficult financial decisions about like, do I pay this credit card or do I buy food? You get what I'm saying? Like, be mindful of trying to save this person simply because their plan hasn't changed, you know, and it's not even anything personal, Taurus. What I'm seeing here is like, this is just this person's program, right? This is what they do. This is what they've always done. They don't view themselves in a way that, they don't think they're deserving, but it's weird because like everything in their life, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Like, they make people hate them. They make people get to the point where they kick them out of their lives and be like, you know, you're the most toxic person I've ever met. And then they're like, yep, I know. That's what everybody tells me. And then they move on to the next person and they say, oh yeah, well, I used to date Taurus and, you know, I did everything and I showed up and I tried so hard and it wasn't enough and I wasn't enough. And, you know, they need people to view them the way they view themselves. So if you have like even a shred of hope or like love or like anything towards this person that's not in alignment with who they see themselves to be, they feel like they need to destroy that, you know, and in doing that, it's like they disappoint you and they lie to you and they, you know, wrong you in all these ways that, you know, now you have no faith in this person. You have no trust in this person. And they're like, yeah, because that's how I feel about myself. I'm not trustworthy. I'm not good. And that's something that you can't fix within this person, right? They're going to have to like find a way to fix that for themselves. And that could be a forever thing, right? That could be a for now thing. I'm not saying that people don't change, you know, but it's just like this person has to get to a point where they're so sick of their own shit that they make decisions to do something different. Your advice is being clarified by Queen of Wands. So this is talking about making yourself a priority in your own life. Queen of Wands is very action oriented, but she is not somebody that's going to go out, she or he. They're not going to go out and try to like fix people because they're already exactly who they need to be and where they need to be. And so they don't enjoy having people be a project for them, right? Like, they're more, they want people that can keep up with them, match their energy. And if not, it's like, okay, you need to step back and work on yourself because I've worked on me and I know who I am and I know what I'm not willing to settle for or put up with. I'm also seeing that there is a very strong possibility that you're going to meet somebody quite new, because you go from being the Queen of Wands and then receiving an Ace of Cups, and then you're the Queen of Pentacles. So it's almost like you find somebody quite quickly if you were to exit this situation. And that person pours all of the love and energy and finances into you that it seems like you've been throwing into this like black hole of a person. I think too, with this Five of Swords coming out in the reverse, this is talking about this person playing themselves. You know, they think they're so smart. They think they're so slick, but eventually everything they're doing, it's going to backfire and it's going to end up hurting them in the long run. Right. So, you know, if you feel comfortable, separating yourself from this person, I'm seeing advice like call them out, block them, stop pouring into them. You have free will. You can do what you want. But when you stop doing this situation and you move on, you're no longer putting work into anything that is a King of Cups in reverse, which is this person. I'm seeing that if you can choose yourself, right? The commitment that you want is here. But the hard part is like, you have to choose yourself first. You have to be willing to exit from this. And, you know, maybe this person is triggering you on a deeper level than you're aware of. Because with this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like there's something inside of you that maybe you don't even know is there. Like maybe this person reminds you of a parent that you couldn't save, right? Or a sibling that you couldn't help. Because there's kind of this energy of like, you're supposed to be looking at what this person is. And then if you take away the title of like who they are in your life, maybe look at other people in your life that have disappointed you and compare notes and be like, oh my God, this person is literally my dad, my brother, my kid's dad, my mom, my, you know, sister, whatever. Right. And like maybe in you realizing that you can stop recreating a narrative for yourself where it puts you in a position to try to save a person again that you weren't able to save in the past. You get what I'm saying? Future of this connection, 3 of Swords in the reverse. Lots of talking. It looks like the two of you will not come to a resolution at this time or in the near future. It seems like this person, again, will pick a fight. They don't like being held accountable, right? This is somebody they will... it's just like a teenager when you tell them to clean their room and then they like run away from home. Like, this is somebody that if you try to have a conversation with them, even about like the sobriety thing or whatever, it feels like they would like bust out the door because you don't love them. Like, they'll accuse you of not loving them. But if you invest in this person, then they're going to accuse you of smothering them and only loving them if they do what you want them to do, right? So this is like, they're putting you in a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? If you don't do anything for this person, you don't love them, they're the victim. If you do everything for this person and you hold their hand, now you're smothering them and it's like, oh my God, you only want me to be what you want me to be. I want to be myself. Like, no matter what you do, this person is going to find a reason to like not see it for what it is. It's not like you're helping me because you love me, or you're not helping me because you love me and I need to figure this out. It's always going to be them being the victim, right? So future energy for this is like a lot of blocking, a lot of like coming back, a lot of like one word texts or situations where like maybe you speak a few times and then they completely disappear. This person is going to become more, what is the word? It's like they're going to start doing more to make you view them horribly. So they could be like getting into fights out in the world. It's like they're trying to tarnish their own reputation. So if there's something that you've ever said to them, like that an ex did, that was just a deal breaker for you, you can expect this person to do it because this person is so dumb. I'm sorry, like, not to call them dumb, but this really is dumb. It's like they want out of the situation with you, but they're not willing to just say it because they don't have like another source of supply lined up. Like, this person is giving narcissistic energy. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose anyone, but that's just what's coming through. So it's almost like they're getting to the point where they're trying to find a new supply. They're holding on to you because they don't have what they need. Eventually they will discard, but they want this to be something where it seems like it was your idea because then it fits the narrative of them being a victim. Okay. Sorry, that's what I got. Let me pull an oracle card for you. I'm not going to do an extended reading on this one, Taurus, because I feel like the public reading pretty much has said everything you need to know. This month I was going to do extendeds to like look more into this person's feelings and their thoughts about you, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory with what I've said. I think you have everything. And also, like, I personally just don't want to stay in this person's energy much longer than I need to because this is just such a hard situation. And I'm sending you so much love for those of you going through this. All right, so you got criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. You know, you can love someone from a distance. You can love someone unconditionally and have your presence in their life still be conditional, right? Or you could stay with this person and you can keep bickering and hoping that things will be fixed. But I think if you could accept this person for who they are, you will manifest your soulmate. Probably not in this person because they have such a long way to go. Like, you know, back here, you were the Empress. They're the King of Wands. Like, they're not even close to being on your level, and that could take quite some time, right? You got soulmate, or soulmate is already with you in spirit, believe this, and they will manifest physically. So like I said, you know, going from the Queen of Wands and asserting your boundaries, taking action, doing what you need to do, that actually brings about that love offer that makes you into the, you know, husband or wife or power couple, business owner, you know, whatever. Like, that's you doing what's best for you is actually going to be what facilitates a soulmate entering into your life. All right, Taurus, good luck with this. Thank you for visiting my channel, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.